I didn't speak English. I only spoke Spanish. In Cayman, the crazy thing is like Cayman Islands, they don't give you status. Took my suitcases, started walking through the border, and just went there and listen, I'm Cuban. And that was crazy as well because, and then that was it. So I started doing more shows. I got into Telemundo and Univision, started doing all of these, even Despierta America. Yeah, I was able to perform for Usher. I was able to perform, for Nick Jonas music video. I did a lot. I did the Billboards in 2015 for Marc Anthony. I was like a background dancer. And I remember that year, my first Christmas, my first New Year's away from my family and, not knowing a lot of people. I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this. I don't know if it's something. And I used to cry a lot. I was very depressed, and my friends told me, no, you can be like that, listen. The thing is, like that French Canadian that I met in Cayman Islands, we started to talk again.
Oh,
we started to talk again. Heck, I do all of this. 2, 3 jobs. I do Uber. I don't know how to have a problem to say that I do Uber. This is nothing
What's
like...
up? Do you have a plan B?
I don't have a plan B.
Welcome to the Yellow Sea Podcast, Latino Gang. Our first episode of the year, and this edition is going to be in English. For all my Anglophones, here it is. This is how we start this year. And so, to begin, as my first episode, you already know, Ray Antonio, I'm your host. So, my next guest that I'm bringing to the table, we're going to talk about the hustle of a female land music performer. And this is something interesting because there's a vibe going on in Montreal, and I find that the land community is just growing, and there's a lot of talent. And I'm happy to have her here as my first guest because she's going to enjoy the new ride of Yellow Seat. So I introduce to you guys, singer, music performer, Gretch'N. How are you?
That's it. Thank you so much. I'm very good and happy to be here. And even more happy is the first episode of the year. So
yeah, that's a significant form of breaking the ice, even for the amount of episode we have. I believe this is episode 138. That's how we start 2024.
That's amazing.
But the fact that you're the first one, and I took a break, a first week break, and I decided, you know what, I want January to be very artistry. There's a lot of music artists that write to me, that have wrote to me lately, and they want to come, but only because I'm following a flow, which I want to keep it the same theme. I couldn't make space for them, but I said, you know what, early January, let's make it about artists. So guys, you already know what to expect for the upcoming guest. But right now, and nonetheless, I want to welcome you guys to one of our first new sponsor of the year 2024, as you already know.
Whoop,
oh, whoop. Pizza Salvatore.
That's it.
You like pizza?
I love pizza.
This was just fresh out the box. So, Salvatore. So this is the first time maybe someone is giving them an ad in English. So, Salvatore, shout out to them. Don't forget to order online. You can do Uber, but order online on the website because you get to win more promotion and points. So let's focus our attention on this Miss Gretch'N.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And guess what? It's my first ever interview in English.
That's good. But see, that's good for the SEO.
That's it. Yes. So I'm going to be working out my brain here.
That's all right.
All this bilingual
We're all going to be doing. And strangely enough, I feel like I'm going to be working because I haven't done any English podcasts in a while. And it's not that I'm not comfortable in English. It's just that I find that the flow of the conversation it just got accustomed to the French one and now English, and maybe another flow of conversation. Because one thing I always said to some people is that I find that my personality is different from French to English. And you
absolutely, for
you
sure.
Agree?
Yeah.
From Spanish and English?
From Spanish to English is the same thing. Like, I can be talking to you in English like I do in Spanish because you won't understand a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have like a pause, between words. Otherwise, you're going to be like, ta 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 ta. No, that's not going to work.
Cubans, huh?
So, yeah, I get that. I get it.
And, all right. So let's talk about the personality. So let's say, because this is really interesting as a subject discussion. How do you feel your English personality differs from your Spanish personality?
You know what? It's just different. It's like the words is not even the same. Like I cannot even go like word by word trying to even translate something, because it's like my brain is thinking something, but then my mouth says something completely different. So there's no connection there on the English and the Spanish. Like sometimes I think it's like it's gonna come in a way, but then I'm thinking a way, but then it comes out like completely different. So that's why I have to stop thinking in Spanish and try to just from here try to connect the whole English thing. So yeah, just by that automatically is a whole different vibe, because I have to be like thinking what I'm saying.
All right,
but again, also like the whole speed thing. Because, and I learned that when I was working actually in a call center, one of the so many jobs that I did, as being an artist, trying to, hustle my way up there. And I learned a lot in that call center. It was in English/Spanish, but it was more like English. And they taught me that, like, you know what, if you slow down a little, because I always have like that fire, like, you know what, you have to, you need to.
As a Cuban.
Yes, exactly. Plus I'm Cuban, so it's like the fastest, I believe, Spanish out there.
Is it?
Yeah, probably. Like we speak so fast, man. Like Cubans, it's a whole different dialect. Yes, they are very fast too. You're right, but I don't know. Maybe it's me that I speak so fast, and then in English, like you wouldn't understand. Like no. Slow down, if you pause a little bit in between words, it will be a lot better for you. They will be able to understand you better, especially because I'm on the phone, right? So there is that. Okay.
Good point. So let's get to know you. Let's discover you. Let's see where everything started, where the music spark started. So how long have you been, let's say, performing in the art world?
Well, I started as a dancer. So my background, I'm coming from like a dancing background. And I started when I was a kid. I was like 10 years old back home in Cuba. And I always like all sort of like performances. I used to be on the TV, like mesmerized of all the shows and stuff like that. My mom saw that. A lot of friends saw that. And they told my mom, you know what, maybe you should like put her in like modeling. Because I was also like super skinny. Like I was always like extremely skinny. People would be like, do you even eat? Do you even eat? Like, I did eat, but I don't know, my body was just like that. And that's, so yeah, I started as a dancer. And then I went to a school there, performing school, which I also did some acting and singing, but very basic. Yep. Because again, the whole career was more like as a professional background dancer. And, but I always loved to sing. It's just like, based on my school and all the gigs that I used to have, just my path, it was always like as a dancer until I went to Miami. Like in Miami, that's when I developed the whole singing career. And I fell in love with just mixing my both passions, singing and dancing. Like, you know what, I can do a show. I can have my own show. I can be singing and dancing. So I'm just going to explore that because I love to do that. I feel free. I feel happy and I enjoy it. So that's it.
Well, that's great. It's this is very Latino-like to have this heat in us, this moving part about us.
It.
Yeah, exactly. That we have a lot of artistry, and I see a lot of like, especially here, I find that the Latin community in Montreal does have this very artistic pride to itself, and we have a lot of great talent, a lot of artists, and you a combination of just the singing, like the whole body, as much as your voice and your steps. So first of all, Alex Rojas, which is your mortgage broker of the community. This guy is just there to help us, really, other people reach their goal. One thing we didn't talk about here, but one thing we always like to mention is, as a Latino, there's are going to be obstacles, but one of the main things you want to gain yourself is to buy yourself real estate, and you need a mortgage broker. Alex Rojas is your man. All right, so you went to Miami. So when did you get to Miami?
That's a whole trajectory there because I left home on a tour as a dancer like in a dancing company.
Oh, you're one of those who never came back.
That's it. You got it. But you know what's crazy? That was not my thought at all. Like, it's not something I planned to do.
Happened.
It just happened. And thanks to my friend, actually, one of my friends, and I thank her so much until this day that she got me in that boat. Not like an actually boat like all the Cubans that are on that kind of boat, but, you know, like the mentality boat.
Yeah.
And, I just went there in a tour. So it was like a 7 months kind of tour. I ended up staying for 3 years in Cayman Islands. So
Cayman Islands.
Yeah, it was like in a dancing company. It used to be called Caribbean Dance. So there was like singing, acting, like a circus performances and dancing.
Was it in Cayman or was maybe like on cruise ships?
No, in Cayman, the actual Cayman. Right. There is a lot of cruise ships that were coming. And a lot of deals that we actually got, like, hey, maybe, you know, let's go to a cruise ship. But I don't know, that idea never really, like, stick to me. Like, being on that long on the water, like, listen, I don't know how to swim. So that's not something that I was very, like, comfortable with. But, yeah, I stayed there, like, for 3 years. And then I met my partner at the moment, which was French-Canadian. And that's how, you know, I started the whole journey to come into Canada.
Okay, I see the connection.
Yeah,
that was one of my questions.
Because Cayman Island, there is a lot of expats.
Yeah.
Like, Caymanians there, they're like so little. But you're going to find like Filipino people there. You're going to find Latinos, Brazilian, Canadian, American people, Jamaicans, like all the countries. It was crazy, you know. It was so rich, and I love that. And I fell in love with all the culture, you know, like soca and all the Caribbean vibes and all the festivals. It was just amazing. I love that island, you know. I feel like I need to go back there.
Oh, nice. So to you, it's like hometown being over there. Like so if you were to go back to you, it would feel like hometown.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I have a lot of friends there until this day. When are you coming back? You know, we still keep contact, you know, and it's just amazing. I love it so much. It was part of my whole journey. It's part of the whole flavor also that I bring sometimes in my music, because I like to get inspired by all these locations, all these places that I've been, because I always picked up something from these places. In this case, Cayman Island. After that, I came to Canada. I stayed here maybe like for a year or something. And then I went to Miami. I literally just went, like, took my suitcases, started walking through the border, and just went there and listen, I'm Cuban. And that was crazy as well, because I remember this woman, it was a woman, you know, very strong with that. I don't even know what kind of arm she got. The shotguns. Like on the border. And she just told me, are you Cuban? I remember it was like a whole snowstorm and everything happening. And I just crossed by this, it was not even like, how you call that, peatonal? Like there was no walking. It was just like cars.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I got the whole thing run. I just went to a whole different passing there. Anyways, she just saw me in the whole middle of the storm, and she's like, are you Cuban? And I say, yes. And she just told me, welcome home. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's easy.
Inside the U.S.
That was like back in that time. I'm talking to you like maybe like what, 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
So that was, let's say early 2010, 11, 12.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? It was 11, 13.
13, all right.
Yeah, that's it. And then that's it. That's how I started my whole Miami path.
Okay, well,
that's how I started.
From the border, did you go directly to Miami by bus or?
No, you know what's crazy? They treat me so good, man. Like they were so nice to me. I remember that I was so nervous because it's something that, you know, as a Cuban going to the States is the whole different vibe. My parents didn't even know I was doing that. And I remember I was so scared, and these people treat me so well. They didn't even open my suitcases, nothing. They just saw, like, you know, a little girl just by all me my things, and I'm just going to see my family. You know, I have no one in Canada here. I broke up with my partner at that time. So what I'm going to be doing here, right? So I just went there. They offer me money. You want to go in our bus, the worker bus? We bring you to... No, it's okay. I have money. It's all good. I just went to the airport, got the ticket, went to Miami.
Sorry.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay. How does it feel to be just independently doing that? Like, you were alone. You didn't have like a friend.
You know what's crazy? Yes, of course. Like, I don't think today I will do that. I don't think I would have done that today. But I'm happy I did it though, because that was part of my whole growth, right? But I don't know. I feel like as I grow older, there is a lot of things that I think twice, that I think just a little bit more. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes you just got to do it. And I feel like, I don't know, God's timing is just perfect. And that was the time. Like, that was my time to do that. And I just got there. I had my cousin there. I used to live with my cousin like for 3 months until I was able to have my own apartment, my own car. In Miami. Yeah. And I started working, and I have a lot of friends there that started with me back in the music school. So they all were working like in Telemundo, Univision, all these Spanish channels, and they hooked me up. They say, listen, there is this company here. They're making auditions. I started doing auditions, a lot of no's until I got this one yes. And then that was it. So I started doing more shows. I got into Telemundo and Univision, started doing all of these, even Despierta America was called, and all these Spanish channels, very important for us Spanish people. And on top of that, I used to work at 11 nightclub. I don't know if you guys know what 11 is. It was like still is until this day, very well-known club. I was doing bottle service, working until 4 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Next day work, sleep 2-3 hours, then go back to the TV station. And sometimes like the Miami Music Week or Ultra Festival, I used to have 3, 4, 5 gigs, because I also used to be a part of Santra Entertainment, which is like an agency. They book models for music videos and billboards and stuff like that. And thanks to them, I did a lot of like these crazy gigs. And that was a huge school for me. You know, I was able to,
interesting.
Yeah, I was able to perform for Usher. I was able to perform, for Nick Jonas music video. I did the Billboards in 2015 for Marc Anthony. I was like a background dancer. And it was like crazy. Like, to me, I think like it's amazing all the things that I was able to do, considering, where I'm coming from, that for us, there's not a lot of like ideas to even like reach this kind of like stuff, coming from Cuba. You couldn't even travel back in that time until you say, I'm not coming back ever again, But it was a very hardcore school, I would say, because
it's very interesting to hear. You see, because I could tell like right now just by listening to you, you have this gut feeling of just doing things, just go for it.
Yeah.
Don't seem to question too much. Like, what if it doesn't work? You just
exactly. I feel like I'm very spiritual also. Like sometimes I have just got feelings. Like, you know what? I don't feel like this would be a good idea. And even if I want to do it, I don't do it. And then something happened, and then like, see, I'm happy I listened to myself and stuff like that. And but in this case also, like I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and I did it. And I was just happy. I'm happy I actually did it. I learned a lot. I met a lot of people, and that's it.
All right. How long were you in Miami?
I was there until 2016, like for 3 years.
3 years?
Almost 4, yeah.
So among those 4 years, what was maybe some of the, what would be your highlight of Miami?
My highlight? That's easy, because I remember like yesterday, that will be the Billboards. That's like the biggest.
So that's where you felt like, damn,
wow,
I'm there.
Like, yes, like that was my bucket list that I didn't even have in my bucket list, but I did it. And
now it is.
It's crazy. That was a huge, stage. And just, I was the opening act. Marc Anthony in that time, that was performing a song called La Gozadera with Gente de Zona, which is a Cuban group. It was very big in that time. And that was the opening act. So when I just saw, I didn't even see it. Like when I just heard all these people, the noise, like, wow, like, all this, like the curtains started to go up and people, all the music started like live. And the feeling I felt, it was so crazy. Like I get goosebumps right now telling you this. It's insane. And that was the day, that I decided to be incursioning on my singing as well. You know what? I want to try, like, I think I'm ready. I want to be in the spotlight. Like, I want to be there. Like, I've been dancing for a long time. I've been preparing myself. I always love to sing as well. And I fell in love with the whole show business thing that day. Like, I always, loved it. That was my passion. But that day, I don't know what to even describe the feeling I got. And that's my highlight. Like, I can tell you, very easy.
Is there any time that you felt like you were maybe reconsidering all your decisions? Like dark times,
of
like
course.
during the Miami
Of course, even before Miami, like in Cayman, right when I left my house, because I didn't speak English, I only spoke Spanish. In Cayman, the crazy thing is like Cayman Islands, they don't give you status. Yeah, like it's not like you can immigrate to Cayman Islands. No, they have like some sort of deal with Cuba. So whoever got there, however you get there, you gotta go back. So the only way you can stay there, it was under a work permit. And I didn't know English, which was the language of that island. This is like a colony, like England territory, right? So, oh man, I had very dark times there. I didn't speak the language. I got into a lot of situations because of the language. And, but I still didn't want to go back to Cuba. I knew like the future that I wanted for me and to be able to help my family and my people. It was not there. Sadly, that's how it is for a lot of us immigrants. We gotta, we just leave our land looking for better opportunities. That's just how it is. That's just. Yeah. And when I got there and I didn't speak the language and all this stuff, they told me, oh, no, but you can stay here. Like, what do you mean? Da-da-da-da-da. My friend told me after we discussed, well, you know what? We can go back to Cuba. Let's stay here. Like, no, I don't think so. You know what? Let's wait for the next tour. Mm-hmm. And she said something's going to be a next tour. Do you know there's going to be a next tour? You don't know. And that got me. I sat down like, she's right, because I don't know if I will be able to leave the country again. Back in that time, it's not like now. You can have a visa. Nobody was able to leave the country. Cuba was like really, really like closed up. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let's do it. And then we got like work permits on the side and under like, I promise you I'm going to learn the language and I'm going to be working here. And I have to learn English in 1 year. I had to learn English in 1 year. I'm telling you about the whole different language, a whole different phonetic, a whole different everything. So I can just stay there and slowly make my way to, I don't even knew what. I was just very new and everything, very young, didn't speak the language. And I remember I changed all my computer settings. I changed my iPod. Back in that time was that little nano thing. Yeah. All English. Sometimes I used to try to find things and I can't because I don't know the language yet. I don't know. Anyways, it was like a whole different thing. But I was able to learn some stuff, just the basic. Came back to Cayman Islands and at the airport, right at the airport when they do to you like this little test to make sure you know the language because you're coming under a work permit. So before you even go there, they sit you down in this whole little immigration spot at the airport. And they start giving you like some sort of like test, like English test at the airport. If you don't know nothing or if you can understand, they send you back right there, So anyways, I passed all of that. And I remember that year, my first Christmas, my first New Year's away from my family and, not knowing a lot of people. I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this. I don't know if it's something like I don't know nobody here. I don't know the language. What am I doing? Am I crazy? I don't understand why I'm here. And I used to cry a lot. I was very depressed, and my friends told me, no, you can be like that. Listen, we are made different, man. We gotta. I remember she was so like, encouraging but yeah. Like that. And that was like the first time. That's not just, that wasn't like my only time. That was like my first time. After in Miami too, a lot of auditions. No. Like, is that even worth it? I used to call my family. I don't even know if it's worth it what I'm doing away from my family, my people, my culture, my food. And, I'm just here, just navigating, wandering around. But here I am, I surpassed all of that. And I know that the road's still even longer. Like, I'm not even halfway, but here we are. Just keep hustling and keep trying to make my way.
Very impressive. I give you flowers for this because I find that you have that story, that Latino, in your case, Latina story of immigration that our parents, for example, my mother, like I'm pretty sure she had that same story, like what am I doing here? And she had a kid too when she moved. And so in your case, well, you didn't have a kid then. So
I have it now, so that's going to be her story. My mom
immigrated. She did that's a nice little story. I find that there's this strength as immigrant we have that sometimes like it's a very nice to hear the adversity that you had to go through, because I find this a little extra can give you an edge as opposed to a lot of people who maybe grew up in a different comfort zone that maybe you didn't have.
Yeah, some tough skin, tough skin, sorry, that sometimes we need to like...
and I find that perhaps what you're saying, it's a driving force that, all right, if I did Cayman Island, I did Miami.
Yeah, I started from zero so many times, man.
I'm not going to do Montreal?
Yes, that's it. I started from zero so many times, you'll be surprised, I went to Cayman Islands, then Miami, went back in Canada, then I started from zero a lot of times until now that I just decided to stay here.
So, all right. Yeah. Tell me about why did you come to Montreal? Because, all right, people are in Miami. All right, there's a lot of Latino here in Montreal that dream to go to Miami, to the land.
I get that.
She went from Miami to Montreal. Why?
I get that so much. People tell me all the time, are you crazy? Why do you even come here?
Well, you are crazy, as I can tell.
Everybody was telling me that, like, why are you even here? Like, you went to Miami. The thing is, like, that French Canadian that I met in Cayman Islands, so we started to talk again.
Oh,
we started to talk again, and he started to go to Miami to visit me, and going back and forth. And we went to Hawaii on vacation, and then I tried to come here, and they stopped me again at the airport because I have my Cuban passport. I only have like the green card from the States and my PR from here.
Okay.
And they told me, you can't do this. You don't pay taxes in two countries. You don't live in two countries. You have to choose one. And that's when I go to Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And he was like a huge, starting point on that. But then was also Trump in that time.
Okay.
Going to,
making it hard for
the
the
presidency. Like, everybody was kind of like, oh, man, I don't know. I think Canada, I'm going to Canada. And I'm happy. I made that decision when it comes to, family stuff and stuff like that.
All right, so how was it restarting to zero again in Canada, cold?
Well, the thing is, back in that time, the first years was fun because I never seen the snow. For me, it was the new stuff. And it was around the time that I was, like, starting my music also. Mm-hmm. So I was not just performing, not just dancing, but also, like, singing. My first singles as a singer, it came out in that time. And when I came to Montreal, I remember I was the only female that was doing urban in the
urban music here.
Urban music here,
yeah?
back in that time. Yeah, I'm talking to you about 2016.
Okay.
Summer 2016. I remember it was Cruzito.
Yeah.
Landy Garcia. I remember it was Wallace Cotete also. That was my memory, if doesn't... of course, there was also, like, always, like, bachata, merengue, like, more like Latin, Caribbean stuff. But in the urban
You're the first
scene,
one.
I was the only female that was doing, There's also this girl, Chantel, from Toronto, that we used to have sometimes, like shows or traveling and stuff like that. I remember her also being in the scene, but more like bachata singer. But that's it. And
she's still active?
She's still active,
okay.
Yeah. And I think she's doing very well. She opened for Bad Bunny and stuff like that. But she's more like in Toronto. She's like the Toronto scene. But here in Montreal, man, that was it. So for me, back in that time, it was okay to come here. I was with my partner at the time. We were engaged at that time. I was doing my music, starting as a singer. I was doing okay, So it was okay. It was pretty good.
So now you've been here like over maybe like 7 years?
Yes, yeah, something like that. Without counting that I first came in 2013. I left, I came back. But probably a little longer.
So you arrived here as 2016?
2013.
13?
For the first time, from Cayman Islands.
Okay. Oh.
So I was in 2008, 2009, to Cayman Islands. And then we left 2013 here to Canada. And then I left in 2014. Something like that. So,
how do you see the music here, the Spanish music, early around that time that you were among the first one, and now? How do you see like the industry, even the community?
The thing is, I love when I get this question because the difference is just undeniable. Like there has been like a whole 360, you know, change in everything, because there is a lot, not only there is a lot more artists out there now, but females. There is a lot of females also now in the industry. And I love that. I love like how we are becoming stronger when it comes to especially the industry, urban. So yeah, the change is like huge. There's a lot more people. The talent is amazing. I feel like every time there is like people with more and more talent, and of course that's something that help you to keep like grinding even more. You know, to also get there. And okay, I did that before, but now it's different. Now you gotta continue your work. Maybe you have to work even harder. You know, to like get up there and get your name known.
Okay. Well, proudly to say, like, because me too, I kind of entered this field, and not necessarily the music, but more like the media,
right?
The podcasting that started early 2020. I was never really that kind of person to be upfront, but I did do music early. I would say maybe like 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
I was producing. My goal back then, when I was maybe like 22, 23. I was writing the music, doing the beat, mixing, mastering, and I had a singer. I had a good friend of mine, and she had a nice little beautiful voice. So that was my goal. You know, let me produce her. Let me see really what we can do, with her. So that was, I would say, my only background in the music thing. Okay. But once again, funny enough, an anecdote is that I started that in my early 20s to, you know, practice with mics and things like that. Stopped doing it because there was no money to be made. Strangely enough, 10 years later, I'm back again with the mic. I'm back again doing sound, and now we're actually making money out of it. Dope. Life has a strange way on
working out things. Yeah, exactly.
So in your case, like one thing I've noticed too, like just this year, that maybe I've got more integrated into, let's say, the Latino community this on 2023 by doing some collaboration. Let's say one for all show urbano, when we start collaborating. One of my goals was always, how can, let's say, I can contribute to putting our community forward. Right. And thankfully, we ended up building a platform that's giving these voices. And like I said, I'm very happy for you to be here to discover it and to share you among everyone that, you know, follows us.
Thank you, man. Say that.
Because proudly enough, once again, there's a Latino pride right now going on in Montreal. There's this pride where Latino is our moment right now. That's what Latino Gang MTL is strong. There's something going on, not only even in Montreal, but let's say in the globe.
Right. I was going to say, I think it's more like globally, because it's coming from the music. I feel like reggaeton today, for example, is not like it was back in, you know, a couple of years ago. I know just reggaeton, just Spanish music in general, but especially reggaeton, yes. There's this whole era, you know, where because of that, you know, we've been heard more. We've been, some doors are being opening more and stuff like that. So, yeah, I totally get what you said.
Well, my example, being a business marketing guy, you cannot go to a mall, to a shopping store without hearing reggaeton as being the motivator to consume.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
you're right.
Just the Spanish culture, the Latino culture is just a driving mechanism to, you know, let's say, move, to consume, to have fun, to laugh, to eat, to drink. Good one. Cheers. You see, it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
That's it.
So, and I find that right now we're in the best position to exploit our talent, our what we have to bring. And luckily enough, the market too is demanding this flavor.
Right.
So that's why I keep telling people, look, we just gonna put spice all over this culture, because
that's it.
You know, it's a bit
It's our
stale.
time, so better show up.
Gonna put sazon everywhere.
That's it.
Give it some flavor. That's what is missing. And I say with pride, guys.
That's
This
it.
is what we're doing.
That's it.
So, how do you see like right now, like this field, like now that we just started this this year in Montreal, and you being experienced already in the showbiz, what can Montreal do in order for us as a whole, or for you as an individual, reach their goals?
You know what? I honestly think it's a matter of time, because I feel like we got a lot of things, man, that it's been working so like better and better and better every time. So I truly believe that it's a matter of time, because before I used to think, you know what, we need more opportunities. We just need this one person that give us that little green light, and then that's it, you know. So I truly believe it's just a matter of time. Sorry, because there is talent here everywhere, not just the artists, people, but the producer. There's a lot of tremendously, you know, dope producers, podcasts also. The whole scene. I feel like we got a lot of dope stuff to succeed. So I think it's just a matter of time. I think Montreal is going there, and yeah.
Apparently, Black Box has great opportunities.
Oh, that's it.
Going on.
Check that out.
Check it out.
So
Black
that's
Box
it.
Media.
So, but yeah, for sure. And I thank you so much, honestly, for the opportunity to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Every time I go anywhere, you know, I always, you have to be grateful. And yeah, man, thank you for the little spot, little space.
Yes. So, what is your goal with your music? What do you want to reach? What is the limit where you say, I'm proud, or maybe, hey, mommy, I did it?
You know what? It's not like I don't have a big ambition. I do. But I feel like my goal is changing as I start accomplishing little things. So as in right now, man, to be honest, I just want to live doing what I love. I don't want to have a side hustle anymore. I don't want to having 3 jobs and stuff like that. I just want to like live doing music, you know? And that's my goal for this year. So hopefully we can get that.
How close are you from that goal?
Halfway.
Not bad.
Halfway, I would say halfway. Because you never know, right? I don't like to put like something like on a standing stone, because you never know. And I can tell you that because I've been, you know, in few places where things were not as expected, and I have to like redirect my whole thing. But yeah, I would say like halfway. So I just want to live doing what I love. I just want to say my story, and hopefully I can encourage and how am I saying this? You know, like yeah, encourage people to do what they want as well with my story, because just like my story, I'm pretty sure there is like a lot of people out there that maybe through my voice can also like feel some sort of like similarities,
yeah,
something like that. So yeah, I just want to like say my story. Hopefully I can just, you know, teach people or encourage them to like go for what they want as well. And yeah, because yeah.
Okay. So right now, your lifestyle has most likely evolved in the past, say, 2 years. You're a mother now.
Yeah.
Your wife.
That's it.
You're a strong woman, ambitious woman. You're a hustler at the same time with everything doing. How do you manage your time by all these goals, knowing that you have this very focused goal to making your music your number one
I don't even
priority?
know, because I'm going to be honest, there is a lot of days that I feel very, very much overwhelmed. I'm very overwhelmed, and it's a lot sometimes, especially now that I became a mom. Like that's like another layer on top of all the daily stuff, the routine, being alone in a country where, you know, it's all me, now my partner, but again, he also works. So, for example, this week, the garden is closed because they're on vacation, so I got to be home with my baby. So there is a lot of things that I can really do because it's her first overall.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's very hard, you know, because, again, I don't really have my family here or anyone that can really, like, help me for a lot of things. They were here for a time, you know, visiting. They're in Cuba. They have a visa, so sometimes they come. And in that time, I try to do the most, you know? I try to do as much as I can because, again, when I'm alone like now, it is really hard. It is really hard, but I guess it's just that drive, that love for the things that you do, that you always go back at it. You always try to do things. But, I can't lie. I can paint you all these, like, perfect. It's not. There is no such a thing. It's very hard, but, hey, we here, you know. Every day I wake up. I do my best and hope for the best, and that's it.
Okay. I have a question here that's I don't want to ask it just yet.
Okay.
I just want to keep developing this, but until I get to this question. All right, you among every other artist, why do you deserve to win at this artist game, this music game? Why you need to have it?
You know what? I feel like, again, I have a story to tell. All the places that I've been, the things that I've seen. And I'm not just a hustler, but I'm a very hardworking person. And I find motivation even on the places that you wouldn't imagine, on the lows. I find motivation there as well. In life, I found motivation in everything. So I deserve to be there because, yes, I'm a hardworking person. I'm a strong person, and I have a lot to say. And I feel like there is a lot of negativity out there, and I don't want to be part of that negativity. I want to be positive. So I want to be part of that positive in this whole industry, especially for women. And that's what I'm trying to enlighten. That's what I'm trying to get out there. So, yeah, if I get out there, like, all of this will be on my table. That's for sure.
Do you have a plan B?
I don't have a plan B.
All right, excellent.
So it's this because it's this.
Okay, I like that. I like
so
that.
So I don't know if it's I'm stubborn or what, but I don't actually. I don't have a plan B.
I like that.
Is that crazy?
It is.
But this is what it is.
It is crazy, and it's a good answer because there's a saying that says that once you have a plan B, you never go 100% at plan A.
That's it.
Only because you know you might fall, if it doesn't work, plan B.
Yeah, no. And again, being alone here, I have to provide for my family. I want to help my people also back home in Cuba. And on top of all of that, there is a living here. Cost of living is so high right now, man. And on top of that, I want to do music. I need to do my music videos. I need to record my music. All of that is money, right? I'm not saying nothing out of the world. This is just reality. That's just how it is. So how the heck I do all of this? 2, 3 jobs. I do Uber. I don't know. I don't have a problem to say that I do Uber. This is nothing
That's
like
what's up.
I do Uber. I do whatever needs
Raise
to be
the hustle.
done. You understand? This is like the second job. I do nails. I do anything. You tell me, I'll do it. Why not? Why wouldn't I? If I don't have a plan B, why wouldn't I not do what needs to be done in order to get my stuff to, put it in my music? So right now, this year, my goal again is just to try other stuff that maybe brings more joy to me, like other shows. Right now, I just got a show at the Marriott at the hotel.
Yeah.
And things like that I'd rather be doing that than doing Uber, of course. But, trying to do more of what I like in other little aspects that will bring me some little income to, again, put it back in my music, right?
Okay, interesting. I like that. I like the grind, the motivation, because that's you have a strong determination to what you do, and it's
because
there's a
I
lot
say
of pride
that
to
because
take into
a
that.
lot of people tell me you do Uber, like it's something out of, and this is like I'm telling you, it happened to me more than once, and I look at these people like, what is the problem? Like, oh, you do Uber, you do like Uber Eats, Uber Drive, or whatever it is, like, or yeah, how come you're like, because I do, like. I get mad money to put it in my music, and this is not just me. I can tell like a lot of these famous people today, all the things they went through, like being like a server in the restaurant or like doing whatever they need to be done to do that. Yes, I'm gonna do that as well.
Can I maybe this is going to be some knowledge I'm going to share? Can I make a suggestion, let's say, to increase your hustle, considering you do Uber?
Please.
So guys, you do Uber, you're an artist, you have dreams, you won't have no plan B like Gretch'N.
Right.
So every stops that you do, that you see the person QR code my album, QR code my...
oh, man, I put my music in the car. You're kidding me? That's like my music is playing in the car, and I don't say nothing because, you know, you just got to see, like, the honest vibe that your music is bringing to the people. That's just my point of view. So sometimes they say nothing, and that's okay. Sometimes, like, oh, I like this song, and it happened to me. Oh, this is cool. Like, oh, this is me. No, they don't believe me. No, this is really me. And then I sing, like, a little thing, you know, oh, shit, it is you. Like, you know, like, yes, of course. Like, I inspire. It brings some joy to what I do, you know.
Okay, nice.
Just to keep it easier.
You never know. You might put your music and someone very with the connections might listen to it. It's like, oh,
someone important broke, you know, his car broke that day, and they have to take Uber, and, like, they hear me. I don't know.
So, okay.
Go for it. I see you, like, going around like a little shark, just going around the question.
Bang, bang.
Just going around the question. Just go.
So, what would you do to become successful? Would you sell your soul?
Hell no. No. And this is something that I see a lot. This is the thing about TikTok. Sometimes I surprise myself watching, like, some crazy stuff out there. And in my head before, it's like, is that even real, man? Because if it is, it's some crazy stuff, you know? But then there is, like, so many videos. Like, I understand why you're asking me this question, you know? Like, because you see some crazy stuff out there, but no.
Because, yeah, definitely. There's alternatives now, let's say, that people use in order to, you know, get their brand out there.
Their way out there by...
And not to go to the extreme side, but let's say, for example, this character who does the NPC. Okay. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
I just don't want to say her name just because I just find sometimes irrelevant to take these profiles.
So this ex-person.
But, you know, these people are just in front of TikTok and just doing
crazy stuff.
Like, it's just irrelevant, non-existential stuff.
Okay.
For attention, and yeah, that attention could be converted into money for sure, and that money could fucking pay your studio time.
Right.
You can probably live out of it.
Listen, if it's gonna cost me my peace, I don't want it. If it's gonna cost me, like, the way I sleep at night, I stay doing Uber, no problem. I'm happier that way, because your peace. This is something that I learned also along the way. There is no price on that.
But all right, there's no price on that. But
nah, man.
What is your price?
My price?
Everyone has a price.
I don't have a price. Maybe
you don't have a price. That's false.
No, listen. Until now, I haven't been in every situation where nothing has been, like, you know, like I don't know, suggested to me. But I can tell you right now, like, I have a daughter. A lot of things changed after that. I have a family. I have a way of thinking. And no, man.
I don't believe that. Everyone has a price.
So let's wait to see that time.
All right. So let's say you're doing Uber. This guy comes in. Your music is playing.
But this is the thing. A price for doing what?
You see.
No. Because you tell me what's your price. Like, you always think of the worst, because there is no easy money that never is going to come to you just because of yes, you know?
This guy listens to you, and then you just, you know, sing along. He's like, yo, that's you. He's like, yeah, I like it. Okay. And, you know, I got connects. He's like, what if I put $100K on you and to develop your music career?
Okay, and then what's the price?
$100K.
Like, but then what I need to do, because nobody gonna give you $100K just because of this girl
maybe
can
first
sing.
You have the talent.
You know? And the second, my first is my talent.
Shit, was a second.
No, I'm telling you.
Nah, I mean, I
you
don't
have to pay, like, all these labels do. They give you some sort of, like, contract, and then you have to pay them back. Well, yeah, of course, that's just like, why not? I'm going to pay you back whenever the royalties or whatever it is that is going to pay you back. Yes. In that case, yes. But again, because we always go through that, the maximum stand, you know, like, there is no free money. It's going to come to you just like that. Otherwise, man, I wouldn't be here. I would be, like, already, like, I don't know, like, recording right now my next album to put it in. I don't know.
Okay. Did you see this Netflix series, Neon?
I think so, yes.
With
Daddy Yankee?
The Puerto Rican dude that's in Miami. So
you
saw it all?
Yes, I did.
All right, so spoiler alerts for those who haven't watched it, but
I did.
His turning point happened when the famous girl, the Cuban girl, like that, just played dumb.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah. But he have to like neglect his friends and put
Exactly.
everything on the side and ditch everybody just because of that. No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be me. You know why? Because the people that have been with you from zero, out of nothing, just because of your pure heart. Those are the people that will always have your back. You understand? In any situation, all this randomness, they wouldn't do anything for you. That's not even a question.
So how do you see, let's say, in the field of just everything, considering now that women empowerment it's a thing, it's very encouraged, people push it, there's more benefit. How do you see this, like really this moment? Do you feel like you're at the right time now that, you know, we want to encourage women to even be stronger, bigger than before, more independent? And then right now you're doing exactly one of these things that require a woman just to be beyond herself, like to do extra things. Of
course. And
you feel like it has helped you, or you still feel like some inequalities?
It has helped me to survive, you know, to become stronger. And this is something that I want to continue to show out there, to encourage other young women to do, right? But I feel like I know it's been a lot better. And since Ivy Queen, you know, she's the one that opened all of this female artistry. But I feel like there is a lot that still have to like change out there. I still feel like regardless of all of the woman empowerment and between women, we are a lot stronger and we're trying to do better things. And yes, we can do and all of that stuff. I feel like still there is some sort of like preference when it comes to, you know, shows and stuff like that. Like guys, I don't know, you know, I don't know how to explain that in a way that people don't get too sensitive about it.
People are sensitive regardless. So
but yeah.
Go ahead, say. I want to hear
People are sensitive. But I feel like still there is a lot more room to continue developing all of these, you know, like to considering more women in shows, in events, and stuff like that. That's my humble opinion.
Something nice that you mentioned earlier, that now you have a team. And this, how is that changing really your...
It's motivating me more than anything. Because, again, maybe it's that fire in me that, you know, otherwise will be too, like, laid back, you know, like, whatever. But the more females is out there and with talent, the more I like to be better than yesterday, you know. I want to, like, always is helping me to develop myself as an artist. So more than anything is helping, you know. And even the scene here in Montreal as well, like, I feel like it's helping more, like, it's growing more.
Who's your inspiration out of, is there someone that you see yourself into? I have a few because, again, I like different flavors. I like a lot of the fusion. So my first concert ever that I went to see, it was Alicia Keys. Okay. And since that time, I fell in love with that woman, just her vibe, not just her music, but the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, her knowledge, everything. I just love how she is, and musically as well. I love her music. I love everything. I grew up, of course, listening to Shakira, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and stuff like that. So, but I love that. And if there's someone new from now, these times, that I discover and I love so much because of the story, Eladio Carrion. This guy inspired me so much. He also went through so many different routes to get where he is today. And yeah, he's one of the artists that I recently look into, you know, because of this one song that I like. And then I just started like listening more and more and more. And I discovered his story. He used to be a swimmer and he used to be in vids, like in vines and stuff like that, before becoming a successful singer. So yeah, I guess like I always like this kind of stories, you know, where they were hustling their way out and made it. These real life events, I love that. So I get inspired by that. Okay. I have one more. What would be an advice you wish you were given before starting this whole venture?
I love that.
That could have made something different that, you know, you discover later and someone would have told me this?
You know what? It's believe. Because a lot of people see this is strength, you know, that sometimes I get today, but it wasn't always like this. So if back in that time I would believe more in myself and, you know, just pursue more my things, I think it would have been even better, you know. So I wish I was more like believing in what I was doing and less of the doubting and hesitating and I don't know, and I was very, you know, so I wish that. And also I would have been in, I don't know, less situations, I would say. So I wish that. One of the things that I can think right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I got one more after that. What is the worst decision you have made?
This one person. This one person that it took me years to recover.
Oh, shit.
And it's the first time. It's the first time I'm saying this because I feel like it's the first time that I'm truly healed and I'm truly like, but this one, because it was a lot that changed, you know, not just personal, but even in my professional career, my entire life.
A guy.
It was, there is always a guy. There is always this, or a woman, you know, if you are a guy. Like there's always this one person that you got to go through it, you know.
I think it's a must. I think everyone, if you haven't gotten this toxic human in your life at least once, then that person is coming.
Yeah, I was in very like crazy situations that I never thought myself to be into, and yeah, that was.
How long did it last? That toxicity.
2 long years.
All right.
2 long years that I tried so many times, you know, to get out, but it was even like, it was hard. There is some things that I'm not very comfortable still to talk about, but it was that dark, you know, like it was really, man, this person was something. Like, it takes a lot from someone. You gotta be really broken. You gotta be really messed up, man, to be able to do certain things to somebody else. You understand?
But in what phase was this person? In Cayman?
Here.
Oh, here. Shit.
Here. Montreal. It was here in Montreal. So this is something also that it comes with all of this about, you know, being alone and sometimes sensitive and sometimes, you know, yeah, you don't get sometimes, you know, you don't get around the best scenarios or the best people, you understand? And yeah, I got involved with some crazy stuff. When I say crazy stuff, I mean because of this person, you know, like.
It was making you do things that.
No. I never did anything, but it was more like I thought I will help him, but instead of me helping him, you know, like, oh no, you can do so much better. Don't do this, don't do that. Get out of here, get out of that. I was always like super sad, depressed, was very toxic, abusive, you know. There you go, said it. And it was very dark, man. It was very dark. And it took a lot of time for me to like get out of that. And it was some sort of like mental breakdown also, you know, that I had because of this person. But anyways, I'm happy I was out of that. And because of that person also, I lost a lot of people in my life, a lot of friends that I just get away from, because this is the thing about me. When I am in some sort of depression state or anything, I don't talk. I just get in my bubble. I just go my thing, and I get away from everybody. And then people that really know me is like, something is wrong. Something is not right. Because they know I'm not like this. I'm always like very conventional and like speaking and like whatever. But anyways, so that was one of my worst situations. But I'm talking about like this guy, I don't understand what was his issue, man. But waking up with cops lighting up my face.
Oh, shit.
I'm telling you, like, this is just one of the like crazy stuff that I'm like, but why? And me being so naive, I'm so far from everything and not understanding. But it's people like that. When I say it takes a lot from someone to do certain things, because they see that you're fragile, you're alone, you don't have family here, so they like
Wanna
feeding.
exploit.
They like feeding out of these things. Like they see my, I was singing, I was happy. I don't know, I was on my element, shining. It was like the Canada Awards in that time. I was nominated and I won the nomination of Best Upcoming Artist of the Year. I was in my time, and then I just disappeared.
And this person, okay.
I just disappeared,
Well,
and people were like, but what happened? You were coming so well. And I just disappeared because I didn't even have the strength. Nothing was coming out of my soul. I was just like, so like zero energy. And after that, then COVID.
Oh, okay. So
and then I met someone, and, and then I had my daughter. And then a lot of things happened after, but it took me years to actually recover from that.
Disconnect from that.
Toxic stuff. Yeah.
And usually people like that are just broken themselves. And
Yes.
in order to redeem themselves they just want to take they want to feed your energy in order to, make them fix the brokenness. They'll never.
And then me thinking I can help him, maybe you're more than that, do better, but this is just your mentality, but you don't know the other side, what kind of mentality they have. The whole mentality is completely different. It's more like, I'm going to fuck this up, like I'm just going to I don't know, the whole was all like dark, was all darkness. That was a very dark time in my life. And only few people know about this. Very few, like 1, 2.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Because this is the thing. This is the beauty about being an artist. Like, I put that in songs,
Wow.
I
Fucked up shit make great music.
Yes, exactly. And I put that, I don't know, I feel free now because I believe that whole situation doesn't even deserve me being in that spot anymore. So yes, I'm going to talk about it. And yes, I surpassed that. And yes, it's done.
Okay. So on a positive note, now that, we heard your story, it's a very...
it's a lot. It comes with a whole...
It's a lot. I didn't expect that much details, and it's fun.
It was
fun to hear.
Always like, but whatever. It is what it is. It's part of my stuff, I guess, my story. What makes me me.
So what would you like to accomplish this year, 2024? What absolutely... I mean, I know you said you want to live off the music,
Right.
but let's say next month.
I just hope, to continue just growing as an artist. I hope that there is no any other situation or any other COVID or diseases coming out.
Or recession, maybe.
So we can continue doing us, in the world, just in general. And yes, I just hope that. I just hope to continue evolving, growing, making music, putting music out. And yeah.
So where can we find you to share your handles, like every platform?
Please do. I feel it's so important for us, like one little can help so much. You can find me everywhere as the same Gretch'N Official. And that will be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. Gretch'N Official. That's it.
Well, we heard the story, the magnificent story of Gretch'N. Very happy to have heard you.
Thank
so,
you.
guys, we have an impressive female hustler, music artist, and performer. She told us about her whole path to, leaving Cuba to making it today here to
and
Yellow
all
Sea
the
Podcast.
in-betweens.
Everything. Like, honestly, she done a lot. And so listen to her... to our trajectory, because you can get so much inspired to someone who's been around, who's been traveling around, who never quit, no matter how hard everything was. She always believed in herself. She tells us about the industry, how it's going, what is going to happen here in Montreal. So, guys, it was a pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed this episode with Gretch'N at Yellow Sea Podcast, our first official podcast of the year in 2024. And to begin this year, guys, I want you to give us some support, because of you guys, we have new partners. We're growing as a platform. We're getting more people. There's going to be a lot of action. So don't forget to follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube, on Spotify too, our 2 main channels if you want to hear the whole conversation. If you already know, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we're everywhere, even sometime on LinkedIn, so you can catch all our clips. Thanks to you guys. This is going to be our 4th year in the podcast world. And, you know, we've done a lot, and this year is going to be a marking one because this is where we break the ice. I want to also to give a big shout out to all our sponsors.